The economic impact of sports in our region is just incredible, just like the tourism industry.
It's really another way to help people with their personal finances. How do you save that money? How do you grow that money?
It started with a lot of community input, and that's something that we're very, very proud of.
What we've noticed is children who enter kindergarten ready to learn do much better down the road.
Brandon Co-Lab is a hub for idea generation, what we like to call ideation.
Welcome to Cox Connections, a link between you, our customers, and what's happening in the community we share. I'm Jeff Merrit, Market Vice President for Cox Roanoke. Studies show that children who grow up with only one parent are more likely to suffer higher poverty rates and lower levels of educational and occupational attainment. The Virginia Paternity Establishment Program strives to enrich the lives of children with unmarried parents by encouraging both parents to be involved in raising their children. Benefits of paternity range from increasing a child's self-esteem to establishing a health history. Michelle Wills with the Virginia Paternity Establishment Program is here to tell us more. Michelle, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with just a little bit of background. Tell us a little bit about the program, what it's about, what it's for.
Okay. Well, the Virginia Paternity Establishment Program it came about by the Department of Social Services because of a federal mandate, and then the state went ahead and mandated the birthing hospitals through DCSE and DSS to have a program for unmarried parents to assist them in establishing paternity through what's called an acknowledgement of paternity form, and that's done in the hospital with the birth registrar, who's a notary public.
Okay. So as the parents are establishing paternity, this is unmarried coming into the day of birth. Obviously, a lot's going on. You know, it's a very hectic time. Tell us a little bit about what that experience is like, and maybe why a person should consider this in advance.
Okay. Well, they should consider it in advance because once they get to the hospital, there are so many things going on. The nurses are coming in. They are just busy with their baby, trying to get feeding established, things of that nature. They may not be with the father anymore, and so they may be mad, and that's all they can think about. But if they hear about the benefits ahead of time and they know what to expect in the hospital, they know that the notary is going to be coming in to discuss things with them, they will have better opportunities to decide, if they have the education beforehand, to decide whether or not they want to add the dad.
Right. And doing this up front makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, we talked about the self-esteem and certainly the health history, a couple of examples that I mentioned earlier. You know, what are some of the other benefits of this?
Well, other than the health history and the self-esteem, there's also the fact that in the state of Virginia, if the couple is not married, that child does not have a father. So if there was anything to happen to the father, that child would not get any of the benefits. Just knowing who your father is, even if they're not that close at first, can really set the stage for the future. They may end up having a relationship in the upcoming months, years ahead, and that's really great for the child as well.
And data shows that obviously children with two parents, they have a lot of these additional benefits, and that's critical. And so while a lot of things may be going on in those months leading up to birth, certainly thinking about this and preparing for this in advance is obviously something that parents would want to do. Now, let's talk about cost. Is there a cost for this?
There is no cost as long as they do it within the 7 days after the birth of the baby. After the birth of the baby, they can still acknowledge paternity, but there will be very small fees.
Gotcha. And so doing up front obviously makes the most sense, and being prepared to do that within the first 7 days.
Yeah.
All right. And so the acknowledgement of paternity, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. How is that physically done? Is this a DNA test or something, or what exactly is this?
Right, it's not a DNA test.
Okay.
What it is it's just the two unmarried parents acknowledging by saying, you know, I am the father, the biological father, and the mother's agreeing, yes, this is the father, and under oath by a notary public, who is the birth registrar, you are signing a legal document, and it's almost like you're in court, but you're not.
Okay.
So it's taking the place of all of that hassle of going to court and paying all the court fees and the DNA testing and all of that. Now, if the parents don't agree, then you can't do it in the hospital. Then you do have to go that route. But it is it takes the place of all that, and it's separate. So custody, child support, visitation, those type of things are not affected by adding the dad to the birth certificate. That is all separate, and if you need to do any of that, it is has to be done at a later date. And so that's a misconception that many people have, and that's part of the reason why we want to educate them now, so that they know that it will not affect any type of benefits through the Department of Social Services. It will not start custody, child support, or visitation.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that, because I think understanding up front what this is and what it isn't is pretty critical.
Yes.
And thank you for all the work that you're doing here. I mean, it's a great outreach program. It's obviously very important, not just for the parents, but even more so for the children.
Yes. Yeah.
And thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much.
You can visit vapaternity.org for more information about the Virginia Paternity Establishment Program, or call 866-398-4841. Stay with us, more Cox Connections after the break.
I was so happy the day she was born. Now, I don't even know where she lives.
I never get to see him. Didn't realize what I was giving up.
I was gonna be there for my little boy. Not like what happened to me.
When we had a little girl, we weren't married. Didn't see a problem.
But in Virginia, it can be a problem. Because if you're not married to your child's mom when your baby's born, you're not recognized as the legal father. But there's an easy fix. If mom and dad sign an acknowledgement form right in the hospital.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Children do best when both parents are there for them. So dads, if you're not married, sign the acknowledgement form and get your name on your child's birth certificate. It's free, easy, and it's the right thing to do.